Hey everybody,
Hey,
John Laurel here with the J&L Chronicles. So, you told me you have some crazy stories for me.
I do. I do. Should I just take her away?
Have at it?
Okay. How about, how do you feel about bumblebees? Well, not bumblebees. They're sweet. How do you feel about bees?
Not a fan. Uh, yeah, not a fan.
I love bees.
I know bees are good for the environment and all, but there's also nothing worse than when you're walking down the street and then it just like flies in your face and then you look like a maniac and almost run out into the street. And the guy that almost hit you screams at you, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, there's a bee." And he was like, "Well, I'm in a car." Of course, the car's going to do more damage to you. Not that it happened to me. Not that it happened to me. But just saying.
Kind of sounds like it happened to you.
No, it happened to this other guy, Juan. Definitely not John.
Well, it was a story reported on by BBC, and Best Life has it on their list of strange facts. If you want to know more strange facts, Best Life. But anyways, the woman was cleaning the graves for a ceremony. They clean for the ancestors. They clean
Yeah.
the graves, and she thought she got dirt in her eye, but it actually wasn't dirt. When the doctor looked, he saw an insect, a black insect leg sticking out.
So she got, I'm guessing, bee eggs in her eye?
No, no, I don't know. You would think when the first one went in, you'd be like, ah, right?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't just one.
There's more than one bee in her eye?
Yeah, there was four. The doctor removed four bees.
And could she still see afterwards?
It didn't indicate that,
Uh,
but he did remove all the bees. And
that
he
had
said
to
they were
be
feeding off her tears.
that had to be the craziest day in that doctor's life. And if it wasn't, I want to know what the craziest day in his life was. Because if pulling four bees out of someone's eye isn't the craziest thing that's happened to you, I don't know what would be. Wow, that's a doozy.
Yeah, that is. I used to play with the bumblebees. Play. They were around the flowers. I would garden with my mom. We had these big old cute bumbling, kind of dumb bumblebees. Sweet.
Yeah.
You know the sweet dumb?
Oh yeah, the big ones that just kind of like bump into everything.
Yeah, yeah.
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 My eyes itch now, and I don't think they'll stop itching.
Okay. I have another one.
Okay.
Okay. So the man who invented the Pringles can is buried in the Pringles can.
Oh, that's just practical. It is kind of like the perfect vessel, I guess, for ashes.
His children wanted to honor him.
Huh. Well, did he like that he made the Pringles can? Was it like something that when he went to parties, he was like, "Hey guys, guess what? You know that Pringles can over there? That was me."
Oh, it was his idea.
Oh, it was his idea.
The kids chuckled about it when he suggested it. So after his death, his children stopped and bought a can of Pringles while heading to the funeral. His son recalled, "My siblings and I briefly debated what flavor to use, but I said, look, we need to use the original."
Oh no, you go sour cream and onion. Original? That's boring. Gotta go sour cream and onion,
I like
or
the original.
or barbecue. Go barbecue.
I like the original, personally.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of boring.
Yeah, you are. That seems like a practical use for the Pringles can. But then it's like he was probably pretty wealthy, that uh, crisp money. Not that you can call it a chip, but that's a whole other crazy story in of itself.
Yeah, that was weird. But I have a stranger one for you now. This one gets really strange.
Did the Lay's guy get buried in a bag?
I don't know.
Okay. Get back to me on that one.
Soon to find out on a future episode. Okay, so I have one that comes out of France.
Okay.
A man once sold the Eiffel Tower. Almost.
He almost sold it. How did he almost sell it? It's if he's selling it to someone, did the guy like back out and say, yeah, never mind, I don't want to buy the Eiffel Tower?
No. Victor Lustig got the idea when he read an article about the Eiffel Tower that it was rusting.
Okay.
And the Eiffel Tower...
So he didn't want to pay for the upkeep. He just wanted to sell it off and let some other poor guy have to refurbish it.
No, he didn't own it.
Oh.
He's a con man.
Oh, he didn't own it.
No, the Parisians meant for the Eiffel Tower to be up for 20 years. And when it started rusting, a lot of Parisians wanted it torn down. So he rented limousines so it looked like a government person.
Yeah.
And took 6 scrap metal investors out and indicated that he would be more likely to take the bid if you gave him a little more on the side.
So it would be like if I went up to someone and was like, hey, Lady Liberty over there, yeah, she's for sale. Yeah. Give me a little money on the side and, you can do what you want with her.
Oh, get this. One of the dealers was convinced and paid Lustig, sorry for the pronunciation, $20,000 in cash, plus an additional $50,000 to make sure his was the winning bid.
I'm sorry, but if someone offered to sell me the Eiffel Tower for that little amount, I'd probably be a little suspicious that there's something up with it. Because just the land itself,
yeah,
in the middle of Paris, would have to be worth more than that.
Yeah. And you told them it was a government hush-hush deal, that they had to keep it quiet.
Oh, that's even more reason to be like, yeah, let me get the mayor on the phone and see if this is legit.
When he got the money, he took off to Austria. And then he came back later.
You never come back. That's in every movie. That's always the bad guy's, downfalls when he comes back, and then it's like, oh, yeah, you guys were still here. I forgot that I stole from all of you.
Exactly, because the scrap, he tried to do it again, and then he got paranoid that one of the scrappers had called the police on him, and he fled to the United States, and then was later arrested in the United States.
So he tried to pull the same con twice on the same piece of property. Only one of the most iconic structures on Earth.
Yes.
It's not like you could, just show a picture of the Eiffel Tower to anyone and then be like, oh, what the heck is that thing?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what it is.
Exactly.
It'd be like, oh, hey, I'm selling the Washington Monument.
But then it didn't get out that he sold it the first time because the buyer was embarrassed. So he didn't want to press charges.
I'd be pretty embarrassed, too, that I got conned that bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
No kidding.
I can only imagine the conversation he had with his wife that night when he went home. Hey, honey, guess what I bought? What'd you buy, honey? Oh, the Eiffel Tower. And then she was probably like, you idiot. Who sold you the Eiffel Tower?
Where is this man?
And did they also sell you some magic beans? Because that's how ridiculous it would sound coming home.
Exactly.
Wow. How did someone that brainless ever get the money to buy the Eiffel Tower? Not a savvy businessman, obviously.
Not a savvy businessman. I would
No.
agree with that. I would agree with that. When I read that, it kind of reminded me of that other story. Oh, well, soon on another episode, I'll tell you about it.
All right. Got any more for me today?
Oh, one more. There's a nuclear bomb lost somewhere off the coast of Georgia.
Are we talking the European Georgia?
No, our Georgia. On February 5th, 1958, an Air Force jet crashed into a B-47 bomber carrying a 7,000-pound nuclear bomb.
How do you accidentally crash two planes into each other? Military planes.
I don't know.
Didn't they have right? And if you're carrying, a nuke on board, aren't you going to be a little bit more careful? Maybe look both ways when you're crossing the, I guess, airway?
Maybe it was practice. Might
But
have been practice.
he had a nuke on board.
Yeah.
There's no practice when you have something like that on your plane.
Yeah, it's actually
And it's lost.
yeah, near Savannah, Georgia, near the Wausau Sound. And the Navy searched for the bomb, but they couldn't find it. And then they were saying that they tried to say there wasn't any uranium on it, but there was testimony to the government that it did, and it had not only uranium but plutonium in it. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, please tell me they've found it since.
No, they haven't found it.
How do you just lose something like that? It's not your car keys. It's not. I'm at a loss for words. I misplaced the nuke.
Well, he dropped it on purpose because I think of the impending crash he was seeing happening. He dropped it. I guess you can release and drop it without firing it. So he dropped it into the water. But the Air Force says that as long as it's not disturbed, it's not a problem.
Yeah. How many people go diving and poke at stuff?
For junk, right?
Yeah.
Diving for junk. I've seen YouTube videos on it.
You go diving at shipwrecks. How many? Do they at least have this area like as a no diving zone?
It didn't indicate.
I would hope
there was
so,
no
because
diving zone.
Some jerk gets the idea. Hey, I think I'm gonna go dive in here and try and find that bomb.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's poking and prodding at it, and
maybe they should have kept it quiet.
Yeah, that's probably something they shouldn't have told the public about.
Yeah, until they found it. They should have surrounded the area, kept it safe.
I can't see how nowadays, with today's technology, we couldn't find it.
Right?
Like, why doesn't the military look for it now? We have submarines. We have, if it was too deep at the time, I'm sure we have a, a unmanned sub that could go down that deep. Well, that's troubling.
That is. I'm glad I don't live near Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, me too.
That'd
Sorry,
be
people who
kinda
live in Savannah,
dangerous.
Georgia.
Yeah, sorry.
If you didn't know about it before, you know about it now.
Yeah.
Oy.
So those were just some of the things that I found that were interesting that I thought we ought to talk about.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
You're going to be bogged down by the bees, right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep feeling something crawling around my eye and...
4 of them. 4.
And they weren't just like baby bees. They were...
No, they were just...
healthy, regular-sized bees.
4 millimeter.
That's a good-sized bee.
Uh-huh.
Especially to be in your eye.
Yeah, and they were pulled out alive.
They were alive still?
They were alive.
How?
They were feeding off her tears. They were alive in there.
Bee hits the pool. Within a minute, it's dead. It lives in your eye for who knows how long. And it's just perfectly fine. I don't get you, bees. I don't get you.
I know. I always rescue them from the pool with the pool skimmer whenever they fly in there. The poor things fly in there all the time. I have no idea why, but bees just love pools. I even got stung by one trying to get it out with my hand because I thought it would be in the water, but it obviously was angry at me, thinking that I had trapped it in the water.
How dare you save its life?
Yeah, I put it out. I still have the little stinger scar, but I still rescue them nonetheless. But I learned to use a pool skimmer. Indeed.
Make sure you don't use your eye. Well, that was horrifying and interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm John, that's Laurel. Have a good day.
Bye, folks.